Okay, let's start in Tadasana at the tops of our mats. So as usual, when we start in standing, first just allowing it to be a really comfortable mountain. So not thinking about your alignment, but just allowing your feet to settle into a space that feels nice and comfortable. And then maybe sort of rooting around through the soles of the feet, bringing a little more weight into one foot and then the other, or heels and toes. Allowing yourself to find that space where you feel really rooted and solid. And then either bringing your gaze a few feet in front of you, or if you like, go ahead and fully close your eyes. And bringing your awareness all the way back down to the soles of the feet and just taking a moment to really fully notice, fully let your awareness be just at that connection between the soles of the feet, toes, balls, parts of the arches, heels. And then start to slowly bring your awareness up into the ankles and lower legs, and just noticing or checking in sensations there in the lower legs, scanning up through the knees, thighs, checking in with your hips, with your low belly, low spine, mid-spine, ribs and chest, upper spine and shoulders, all the way up into the neck, head, face. And then allow awareness to draw back to the arms, gently travel down the arms, checking in with upper arms, elbows, wrists and hands. And as we move through our time together, just remembering that gentle intention to really make the practice yours and really choose the version of the shape or the movement that feels right for you and your body in the moment. Paying particular attention to anything that came up for you in that body scan that's feeling maybe like it needs a little extra support, or maybe it needs a little extra challenge. And then bringing awareness all the way back down to the low belly, beginning to notice the rhythm of your breath. And then take a gentle count to your inhale and a gentle count to your exhale. And then with that next breath cycle, add a little length. Make that inhale slightly longer. Exhale slightly longer. And then invitation to stay here or add in a little bit of breath retention. Full, slow inhale. Take that brief pause at the top, maybe just a second or two. Slow, complete exhale, maybe a little pause at the bottom. If you're engaged in breath retention, go ahead and let go of your breath retention and start to bring in your Ujjayi breath. So with each exhale, create that gentle constriction at the back of the throat, mimicking the sound with lips closed. And then allowing the body to settle to a full but easy breathing pattern. Invitation to hang on to that Ujjayi breath throughout your practice if you like. And then we'll bring the eyes fully open. If legs feel comfortable, keep them there. If you want to bring them into a more traditional Tadasana, plug those feet in right under the hip joints. Feet are parallel, second toe pointed right toward the front of the mat. Press down into the soles of the feet. Imagine you're rooting down to grow long, lengthening the spine up away from the feet. Take a little shoulder roll up, back down. Maybe palms face the thighs or palms face forward. Find a little more length to the back of the neck. Bringing the chin ever so slightly in and up. Take a full exhale here. With an inhale, we'll sweep the hands up overhead like we're reaching for upward hands, but we're gonna sink into a squat as we do. So the biceps come up to frame the ears, the palms come together, we send the hips back and down, and we find a chair pose, but with the hands resting together overhead. Pause. And then imagine pressing yourself all the way back up toward upward hands pose, but as you do, part the hands, bring them back down to their starting position. So we're back in mountain pose. Beginning to sweep the hands high, palms meet overhead, draw the hips back and down. A little more weight comes into the heels, palms briefly meet overhead. Press to lift, hands float down. Lowering back, hands lift. Next time you land back and down in that squat, we'll pause there, hands gently resting together overhead, and then we'll bring the hands together at heart center. So now we're in our Utkatasana chair pose. Imagine drawing your tailbone a little longer toward the earth so you're long and neutral in your spine. Imagine you've got a yoga ball or Pilates ball or yoga block between your knees. You're gently squeezing those knees in toward one another. Take a big inhale. Exhale, draw the left elbow toward the right knee. Only so far as you can go with the knees staying parallel. Twisting back through center. Exhale, opposite direction. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotation. Taking one or two more. Finding that balance. Finding yourself back in your chair pose. Extend those palms back up overhead. Press into the feet to lift. Bring those hands out wide to the sides again. Bring the hands around to the low back. Interlace the fingers at the lumbar spine or sacrum. And then gently draw those hands away from you, opening through the fronts of the chest, fronts of the shoulders. Let the chin lift just a little. Crown of the head draw back a little, and then pause here, either just reaching those hands diagonally behind you, or with each breath, maybe just a little more lift to the arms. Then we're gonna keep the arms as they are and come over to a half forward fold. So drawing those fingertips away from the crown of the head, keeping the knees long, hinge from the hips, half fold. Take a big inhale here, then start to draw the hands in toward the spine, unlace the fingers. Exhale, soften over, full forward fold. Letting fingertips dangle down toward the earth or fingertips to opposite elbows. Take a little side to side movement. And then start a slow roll back toward your mountain pose, aligning the spine a little bit at a time as you come up. Grounding down through the soles of the feet, long spine, soft shoulders. Inhale, lift the hands, sink the hips back and down. Palms meet overhead. Press into those feet, lift, part the hands, bring them back down beside the hips. Sink the hips, hands lift. Straighten the legs, hands lower. And taking one more, sending those hips back and down and pause. Drawing the hands together at heart center. Taking a big inhale here. This time exhale, release all the way over to a forward fold. Letting those fingertips draw down toward the earth in front of the knees. Then straighten the backs of the legs, half fold. Slide hands to shins or thighs. Soften yourself back down, forward fold. This time circle sweep all the way up through upward hands pose. And then find your way back to your mountain. Inhale, sweep the hands overhead, upward hands. Exhale, dive over, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Soften. This time plant fingertips or palms on your blocks or your floor. We're going to bring both legs back, come down onto the knees, find tabletop. Finding your nice solid foundation in your square, making sure you're gently active in the shoulders, gently active in the core. Take a big inhale, exhale, find your cat stretch, lowering the tailbone and the crown of the head. Inhale, find your cow, lower the belly, open the heart. Exhale, lift, stretching across the backs of the shoulders. Inhale, lower, making sure you stay engaged in the shoulders. Taking one more each direction. And find tabletop. Be mindful of sensations at the wrists. We'll take a little forward, backward rocking. So start to bring yourself forward. Shoulders come just a little forward of the wrists. We get a little stretch to the wrists, but no pain. Inhale to lift back through neutral. Exhale, start to draw the hips toward the heels like you're reaching for a child's pose. Don't come all the way back. Inhale through table. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop back. Next time you come toward the back, we'll slide all the way back to a child's pose or whatever version of child's pose or puppy pose works for you. Letting the head, neck, shoulders soften all the way down toward your mat, belly resting to thighs. Activating the palms, lifting up, tabletop. Slide the hands out a little forward of the shoulder, tuck the toes, float the tailbone, downward facing dog. Taking a moment to just breathe and move in this first down dog of the morning. And then finding stillness, imagining really grounding through all 10 fingers, both palms, left ball of the foot and toes. Start to lift that right leg back for three-leg dog or tail of the dog. Let it be whatever version of a three-leg dog feels good. So maybe your hips are square, you reach with the heel. Maybe your hips open to the side a little, you reach with the toe. Bring that foot back down to meet the left. Ground through those toes and ball of the foot. Start to send that left leg back behind you. And again, just let it reach whatever way feels natural or interesting. And allow that foot to come back down to meet the right. Grounded in all 10 toes, the balls of both feet. We're going to bring the knees forward and down until they almost touch your mat. Shoulders are over the wrist, gaze is between the fingers. Lift the knees, lift the tailbone back to downward facing dog, reaching heels in the direction of the earth, sits bones opening up, back and down, up and back. Float your knees back down to your mat until they almost touch the mat. Lift yourself back up, downward facing dog. Find a little rhythm here that feels good. We'll move a few more times on your own. Now, next time you come to downward facing dog, pause. Again, grounding through the sole of the left foot. Send that right leg all the way back behind you. Let it be whatever version feels good. Square hips, open hips, reaching through the heel or reaching through the toe. Take a big inhale, reach that right leg long.
With an exhale, come forward to three-leg plank. Bring that right knee to the right tricep. With an inhale, send it long, three-leg dog. With an exhale, bring it forward, knee to heart. Inhale it high. Exhale, bring it in, opposite tricep. And then we're gonna add one more here. Inhale, bring it long. Exhale, bring it back to the opposite tricep. Pause here or straighten your right knee. Send your foot out to your left side. Look at your foot. Bring it back underneath and send it long. Bring that foot down to meet the left. Take a moment, pause, breathe, pedal stretch. And finding stillness. Find your foundation. Left leg rises. Wait for your next exhale to start your flow this side. That first exhale, knee same side tricep. Inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, knee heart. Inhale, long. Exhale, knee opposite tricep. And once more, knee opposite tricep, either pause there or just being curious, maybe reach that foot out to the right side, glance at your foot, bring it back underneath and send it long. Bring that foot back down to meet the right. Float both knees all the way down onto the mat. Untuck the toes, slide the hands out a little forward of your shoulders. Let your hips come forward and down. Find your half plank, and we'll slow lower down to find cobra. Elbows drawing in towards side body, slow lowering heart toward thumbs as you come down, sliding forward. Belly finds the earth. Pull your elbows toward the back of your space. Use your low back. Lift the heart, lift the crown. Exhale, lower. Inhale, use the low back, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, surrender. Once more. This next time you're down, we'll stay down. Ground through both palms. Keep the knees down. Lift yourself up through half plank. And then we'll tuck the toes, float the knees, lift through full plank. Lift the tailbone, downward facing dog. Take one more full breath in your down dog. And then we'll bring the knees all the way back down to the mat. Untuck the toes, slide the hands out a little, let those shoulders come forward, and slow lowering down to the floor, this time lifting through just one cobra. Exhaling, lower, slide forward, belly finds the earth, elbows draw back. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, half plank. Tuck the toes, exhale, down dog. Take one more full breath. And then option, same flow, one cobra, or if you want to play around with a little low plank, two down dog. We'll come forward to a full plank, high plank instead. Shoulders right over the wrists, hips between shoulders and heels, elbows drawing in toward the body. We're going to come forward a little bit. So as we lower heart toward the hands, the elbows are right over the wrists. We let shoulders come no lower than elbows. And we roll forward over the toes. Thighs stay floated. Open the heart, open the throat, lift the crown of the head. If you're choosing up dog, we're going to lift back through plank and find down dog. Pause, pedal, stretch, breathe. And then one more time. Knees, chest, chin, cobra, plank, low plank, up dog. Make it yours. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Take one more big breath. And then let the belly come toward the thighs, gaze come to the top of your mat. Slow walk your deeply bent legs forward to the top of your mat. Find your forward fold. Take a nice juicy slow roll up or find stillness. Circle sweep your way up.
And finding that nice firm foundation in Tadasana at the top of your mat. Inhaling, sweeping the hands high. Urdhva Hastasana, upward hands pose. Exhale, diving over, forward fold, Uttanasana. Pressing into the feet to half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Softening, planting the hands or fingertips on blocks or floor. We're gonna ground the left foot, send the right leg back for low lunge. Slide toes and ball of the foot all the way back the mat. Lower the knee, untuck the toe. Stepping hands up to front knee, or go ahead and send them right overhead, biceps frame the ears. And then just kind of check in with the sensation at the front of the left hip. Option to sink those hips a little lower, bringing your left foot a little further forward if you like. If you flowed with hands to knee, we'll go ahead and bring them up overhead, and then finding a little rhythm and flow here, keeping the fingertips reaching long as we move. Big inhale here. Exhale, start to lift your hips, straighten your left knee. Rock your hips toward your right heel as you do. Bow forward, hands float down on either side of the hips. Coming forward, bending the front knee. Long neutral spine, hands scoop up. Bowing over the front knee as you straighten it, hands sweep down. Open the heart, lift the hands. Taking a couple more at a rhythm that feels good here. As you come up, if you want to add a deeper back bend, you can really open the heart, send the hands behind you. Finishing the one that you're on. And we'll find our Anjaneyasana. Grounded lunge. Take a big inhale, reach through the fingertips. Use your exhale to sweep the hands down to frame that left foot. We're gonna tuck the right toe, lift the knee, send your left leg all the way back for tail of the dog, three-leg dog. Let it reach back, stretch back, whatever way feels good. Bring it down to meet the right. Pause for a few deep breaths. And next, inhale, right leg rises, three-leg dog. Exhale, bring it forward. Support yourself however you need to. Bring your ankle under your knee. Lower left knee, untuck the toe. Adjust your hands as needed for a moment while you check in with lower body. And then we'll bring biceps up to frame the ears. Big inhale. Use your next exhale to start your flow. Sweeping the hands down, straightening the front knee, bowing over that leg. Inhaling to come forward, open the heart. Exhaling, lower. Inhale, lift. Again, as you come up, if it feels good, you could really stretch the front body, adding a nice big back bend. Finishing the one that you're on, finding your grounded lunge. Taking a big inhale long through the fingertips. Exhale, bring the hands down to frame that right foot. This time we'll tuck the back toe, lift the knee, and float it forward. Find forward fold. And then press into the feet to half lift, long spine. Exhale to release to forward fold. Inhale, slow roll or circle sweep your way up. Tadasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, surrender. Find your fingertips or palms, floor or block. This time we'll lead with the left. Grounding through that right foot. Slide or float your left leg all the way back your mat. Lower your left knee, untuck your toe. Step hands up for the front leg for a moment as you check in, or go ahead and sweep those arms directly overhead. Make any little adjustments that you like here. And reaching through the fingertips with an inhale, exhale, twist to the right, float the hands down. Keep the right knee right over the right ankle. It might try to run away to one side or the other. Inhale, twist back through center, lift the hands. Exhale, twist left, float the hands down. Inhale, lift center. Exhale, twist to the side. Taking one more opening to the left. Back to Anjaneyasana. And bringing hands down to frame that front foot. Tuck the left toe, float the knee. Draw that right leg all the way back. Three-leg dog. Lower that foot down to meet the left. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Wait for your next deep inhale. Inhale, left leg rises. And then set yourself up on your low lunge this side. Big inhale, reaching through the fingertips, nice long spine. Exhale, opening to the left, hands float down. Inhale, lift, neutral. Exhale, lower and twist. Taking one more opening to the right. Finding your low lunge. Hands come down to frame that front foot. We'll make our way back toward forward fold. Tuck the toe, float the knee, slide or lift and float it forward. Press to a half fold. Soften, surrender. Slow roller circle, sweep your way all the way back up. A nice grounded foundation at the top of your mat. Inhale, sweeping the hands high, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, dive, Uttanasana. Press into the feet, half lift, long spine. Soften to connect hands or fingertips. We'll send both legs all the way back for high plank pose, Palakasana. And as we did earlier, option here, lower the knees, lower knees, chest, chin to move through your cobra, or plank, low plank to move through your upward facing dog. No rush to get there, but we'll eventually meet in downward facing dog. Take one more full breath in your down dog. And then inhale, right leg rises, three-leg dog. Exhale to bring it forward, this time coming toward high lunge or crescent pose, or you can always choose warrior one instead if that feels better. So again, ankle lands right under the knee. We're gonna keep that back knee lifted, stepping hands up through front knee, or sending them overhead. As we did in our chair, imagine you could draw that tailbone a little further down to the earth, slightly slide your right thigh back, your left hip forward. So we're square and neutral. Slide those arms overhead if you haven't already. And then we're gonna take a little flow here with that back heel lifting and lowering as we move. So again, if it feels better, you can always bring that back heel in a little bit and bring it down onto the earth for Virabhadrasana 1, warrior one. So take a big inhale. As you exhale, reach that back heel toward the earth, front knee straightens, hands float down alongside the hips. Bending back into that front knee, hands lift. And pressing that back foot down, hands lower. Taking a couple more this side. Next time you come back to high lunge, crescent pose, we'll pause there. Take a big inhale, bring those hands all the way down to frame your front foot. Slide that right leg all the way back, three-leg dog, tail of the dog. And bring it down to meet the left. One more. Full inhale, full exhale. Waiting for that next inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale to bring it forward. Find your Chandrasana, crescent pose, high lunge. Make those little checks for yourself. Make any little micro adjustments that you like. And then as you're ready, starting your flow, pressing that back heel toward the earth, left knee straightens, hands float down. Flowing once more, landing back in your high lunge. Sweeping hands down to frame that front foot. Bring that left leg all the way back, tail of the dog. And bring it down to the earth. Take a full inhale, full exhale. Deeply bending the knees, belly toward thighs, gaze comes forward. Slow walk those deeply bent knees forward, or maybe play with a little silent hop forward to the top of your mat. Press into the feet, inhale, half lift. Soften, surrender down. Slow roll or circle sweep your way up. Inhale, lift the hands, upward hands. Exhale, dive over, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, soften. Find your connection. Blocks or floor, fingertips or palms. We'll send both legs all the way back again. High plank, Palakasana. Flowing plank, low plank through up dog, or lowering knees, chest, chin to find cobra. Finding your way back to downward facing dog. Next, deep inhale. Lift the left leg back, three-leg dog. Exhale, step it forward, landing back in your high lunge. And then when you find your foundation in your high lunge, we're going to open up to warrior two, rotating hips and heart open to the right. Bring that right heel down, toes point toward the long edge of the mat. Float arms down so they're parallel to the floor. And reaching forward to find extended side angle. Left fingertips reach forward a little bit. We float that left elbow down onto the left knee. Bring the right arm all the way overhead. Imagine creating that one long line of stretch from back heel, side of the leg, side body, and top arm. Or you could release that left elbow from the thigh and press the forearm inside the lower leg. With your next inhale, lift back up to warrior two. Float the back hand to the thigh. Turn the front hand palm face up. Take another little reach forward and then slide into your reverse warrior. Sliding that right hand down the thigh, watching that left palm scoop overhead. Inhale to lift back, Virabhadrasana 2. Flowing forward again, extended side angle, this time without a pause. Lifting back, warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Warrior 2. And one more time through each. Extended side angle. Warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Landing back in warrior 2, we'll keep the hands as they are for a moment. Press into that left foot, straighten the knee. Rotate your left toes to face the long edge of your mat, and then level out your toes so they're same distance from the side of your mat. Reach those fingertips wide toward the sides of your space. Take a big inhale. Exhale, come over to a half fold. Bring the hands back to the low back. Interlace the fingers at the sacrum, lengthening crown of the head away from the tail. Take another big inhale. As you exhale, soften the spine, draw the crown of the head down toward your floor, and then if you like, peel those arms up away from the spine. Take those interlaced fingers, draw them opposite direction of the crown of the head, and use that sense of the arms drawing back to start to lift you all the way back to standing. When you get to the top, take a little bit of a back bend, taking those interlaced fingers down toward the floor. Lifting back to neutral. Let the hands do whatever they like for a moment. Bring both heels in, point the toes out. Start to sink into a squat, moving toward horse pose or goddess pose. So adjusting the angle of the feet, so knees tracking same direction as second toe. We can get into a nice deep squat, but without our knees going further forward than our ankles. And then we'll bring those arms out to goalpost arms, nice wide active fingertips, 90-degree bend at the elbows. And if you'd like, you can just stay here, nice deep breath. Or you could start a little flow with your feet, lifting one heel and lowering it, lifting other heel and lowering it, or lifting and lowering both heels together. And if you're flowing, go ahead and find one more movement. Lower the heels. Press into the feet, straighten the knees, reach the arms out wide to the corners of your space. And then starting a moonflowers flow, so sinking back into that deep squat, pulling elbows in toward low ribs. Inhaling, expanding out to star pose. Exhaling, coming in and down. Inhale, open lift. Exhale, lower. Flowing once more and then landing in that star pose, everything expanded out away from the navel. And then find your way back to your warrior 2. Hands come down parallel to the floor. We'll take that right heel back, left toes forward, sink back into that bend in the knee. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the left foot. Lift the right heel, square the hips to the earth. Slide the left leg back, Palakasana plank pose. Option, add a little flow here. Knees, chest, chin, cobra. Plank, low plank, up dog, or skip it. Find your downward facing dog. One more full inhale, complete exhale. And then use an inhale to send that right leg back. Exhale to bring it forward, moving toward your high lunge. Taking a moment to settle in, check in, and then opening up, finding warrior 2. And again, in that warrior 2, take a moment to pause, adjust. And then reaching forward to our first extended side angle this side. This first one, we'll pause for a couple breaths. So elbow rests to the thigh, or forearm presses inside lower leg, and we send that left hand high. Next inhale, lift, warrior two. And find your reverse warrior. Next inhale, lift, warrior two. And flowing 2 more times through each, your rhythm, no rush. And from our Virabhadrasana 2, we'll keep those fingers reaching long, press straight into that front knee. Rotate those toes in, level out your feet as needed. Bringing the hands to the low, low back, hinging from the hips, half fold. Exhale to surrender. Softening the spine, crown of the head reaching for the earth. Stay here or lift those arms up away from your back. And then taking those interlaced fingers, gently drawing them away from the crown of the head. Use that sense of arms reaching. Lift you back up to standing. Let those hands draw down toward the earth a little bit, a little back bend. And lifting back to neutral. And again, just letting the hands do whatever's comfortable for a moment while you adjust your feet again for goddess pose. Sinking down into that nice deep squat. And then this side, we're gonna let the hands rest to the lower inner part of the thighs. When we start moving, they're gonna slide around a little bit, but that's our starting point, just to the lower inner part of the thigh. We're gonna keep the spine pretty long and neutral here as we move into a twisting flow. So nice big inhale in center. And then as you exhale, twist and look to the right. Let your left elbow dip down toward the space between your feet. Inhale, lift through center, gazes forward. Exhale, twist and look over the left shoulder, right shoulder dropping down toward the space between your feet. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Taking 1 or 2 more. And after that last one, expand yourself back out into star pose, reaching everything away from the navel. And then coming into our sunflowers. So sinking back into that squat, this time scooping your hands down toward the earth between your feet. Inhaling, pressing into the feet to lift. Scoop the hands overhead. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press to lift. One more. Exhale to scoop yourself down toward the earth, and then use an inhale to send yourself back to star pose. Straight knees, fingertips expanding. Float those arms down parallel to the earth. Make your way back through your warrior two. Deep inhale. Exhale, hands cartwheel the front foot, lift that back heel, square the hips to the earth. Inhale, right leg back, high plank pose. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, cobra. Plank, low plank, up dog, or skip it. Come right to down dog.
One more deep breath. And then draw belly to thighs, gaze comes forward, slow walk, or maybe try a silent hop, float forward to the front of the mat, press into the feet to half lift, soften to release, inhale, slow roll or circle sweep, and finding nice, solid mountain pose, weight balanced between the 2 feet, and we'll move toward eagle. So take a generous bend into your knees, ground through the sole of the left foot, lift that right heel, slide those right toes out in front of the left, cross that foot across center line, thigh resting on the left, and you could leave those toes on the earth, lift them onto a block if you've got one, or if it's in your practice, maybe try to bring those toes all the way around to the back of the opposite calf. If you feel like you have space, maybe sink those hips back and down a little further. And then draw your arms out nice and wide to the sides. Take a big inhale as you create space in fronts and backs of shoulders. Exhale, bring the arms forward in front of you. Bring the left bicep over the right. Bend the elbows, bring the backs of the forearms and hands together. Or if it's in your practice, palms together. Reach those forearms toward the front of your space. Reach your fingertips for the ceiling. If you like, sink those hips even a little deeper. Take another breath. And then just being playful and curious here, we'll play around with a little flying eagle. So you can think of this as a flow. We're going to inhale to expand, press into your left foot, unwind your legs, unwind your arms. Reach everything out wide to the side and slightly behind you. Exhale, send yourself right back down into your eagle, crossing the legs, crossing the arms. We'll flow once more. Inhale, expand, open. Exhale, Garudasana. This time, inhale, expand. And then use your exhale to just float right back down to your mountain pose. Planting that right foot, pick up your left leg, give it a nice little shake, or you can slide it behind you, stretch the calf. And then, nice solid mountain pose. Generous bend into the knees. Find your foundation in your right foot. Left heel rises, we'll slide those toes out. Cross the thigh. Toes to floor, toes to block, toes dangling, or toes around right calf. If you've got it, sink a little deeper. Arms come out wide to the sides with a big inhale. Crossing right bicep over left with exhale. Bend the elbow, back of the hands or palms. Reach those forearms to the front. Reach your fingertips for the ceiling. Pause or sink a little deeper. Take one more big breath. At the bottom of your exhale, thinking about using that inhale to unwind, expand everything out wide to the sides. Exhale brings you back to eagle. Inhale opens. Exhale draws in. One more inhale to open, and then we'll exhale to mountain. Plant your left foot, pick up your right leg. Take care of it in whatever way feels good. And Tadasana. Tadasana at the top of our mats. One last inhale to sweep up through upward hands. And exhale to forward fold. Maybe you just dangle through this forward fold through a breath, or maybe you inhale to half lift. And then softening to plant both hands. Bring the legs all the way back. Take one more vinyasa here if you like. Plank, low plank, up dog, or knees, chest, chin, cobra, or skip it. Come right to a child's pose. So taking whatever last movement you like here, and then eventually finding a version of a child's pose or wide knee child's pose or puppy pose. And just pausing there, taking a few full breaths. Activating the palms, lifting back up through tabletop. And we'll come around into a seat. So make your way around to a seat, whatever way works for your body. We're gonna bring our tailbone right around to the center of our mat. And then find a boat pose. So finding that little triangle between sits bones and sacrum, leaning back a little bit, engaging the core to try to be neutral in the low back. And then heels are maybe just very gently resting, or maybe they're a little higher, or maybe you straighten the knees and extend through the heels. We're gonna bring the palms together at heart center and find a twisting flow in our boat pose. So again, you're trying to engage that core, stay neutral in the lumbar spine if possible. Take a big inhale. And then as we did in our chair, we exhale left elbow toward right knee, but the knees stay parallel. Inhale, center. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. And finding one or two more, finding that balance. And then back to center, lowering the heels if you're not there already. Bring the hands to the earth behind you. Support yourself as you come all the way down onto your back. Bringing knees all the way in toward the belly for a moment and take a little side to side rock on your low back. And then bring the legs back over the body. We're gonna bring the arms out to a nice wide T. We're gonna lift the knees right over the hips, bring your lower legs parallel to your floor. And again here, moving with the knees, staying parallel. We'll take a deep inhale. Exhale, lower those knees over to the right side. Inhale, lift center. Exhale, lower left. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Taking one or two more. When you're symmetrical, bringing the knees back over the hips and then squeezing the knees back into the belly. Taking a little side to side movement on the low back. And then find stillness, bring the legs back to the same position. And bring the fingertips up toward the ceiling, right over the shoulders. Draw those arms down so both your shoulder blades are fully flat onto your mat. And then keeping the 90-degree bend at the right knee, we're gonna toe tap that right foot down onto your mat. Lift it back up to its starting shape, toe tap down on the left. If this is uncomfortable for the low back, pull your navel into your spine, pressing your low back into your mat. So continuing with that movement just in the legs if you like, or as right toes tap, left bicep comes to the ear, lifting back. As left toe taps, right bicep comes to the ear. Again, finding one or two more movements so you finish with balance. And then knees pull into the chest. Take that little rock on the low back. And then finding stillness, bring the left sole of the foot down to the mat for a moment. Place the right ankle on the left thigh. And find your figure four stretch, sliding left heel into the bum, lifting it up onto a block, or pulling the legs into the belly, hands to left hamstring or shin, right knee gently drawing away, toes drawing back towards shins.
If hands are engaged, releasing the hands, letting that left sole of the foot come back to the mat if it's not there already. And then moving towards your spinal twist, arms coming out to a nice wide T. Let the legs fall to the left sole of your right foot, reaching for your floor, or maybe bring the floor closer with a prop. Gazing to the ceiling or gazing out to your right side. If gaze is out to the right, lifting the gaze back to the ceiling, gently pulling the belly in and up, lifting the legs, unwinding the right, pressing into the soles of both feet, lift into a little bridge to recenter hips and spine. Coming back down, right sole of the foot grounded for a moment as you place left ankle on right thigh. And find your figure 4, stretch this side. Releasing right sole of the foot back down. If you're not there already, arms come back out to a T. Letting legs fall to the right. Sole of the foot reaching toward your prop or your floor. Stay here or bring the gaze out to the left. Drawing gaze back to the ceiling. Gently drawing the navel in, lifting the legs. Bringing the left sole of the foot all the way back down to your mat. And again, lift the hips and spine. Allow yourself to come back down in center. And then take a moment to check in. Add any last movement or posture or stretch that feels inviting or feels right to bring your practice to a close. And then softening your way down, maybe to a Shavasana, if you like, or some other shape to relax into. Enjoy a moment of stillness. Allowing all the physical aspects of the body, all the tissues, joints, bones to be at ease, breath to be at ease. Maybe also inviting your emotional self or your mental self to be at ease. Allowing the whole mind, body, a moment to really be still. Bringing conscious awareness to the breath, taking a really deep, expansive inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Deep, expansive in-breath through the nose. Open mouth, let it go. And then if you landed on your back, go ahead and slide your knees back in toward your belly. One more chance to rock on the low back if that feels good. And then starting to make your way toward a seat. So if it works for you this morning from your back with your ankles crossed, start a slow roll, length of the spine, tailbone to shoulders. Or make your way through your fetal position, slow press up. Finding Sukhasana, easy seat. Rooting down through your sit bones, finding long spine, soft shoulders, long at the back of the neck, soft gaze or eyes closed. Scanning back through your physical body, noticing anything that feels different, what feels the same. And then if you like, invitation to, again, check in with a mental self or emotional self here. Setting the gentle intention for anything you'd like to take off of your mat, out into the rest of your day. And then also for anything that maybe you could leave behind. Anything that isn't serving you in this moment. Bringing the eyes fully open and taking a big inhale to sweep the hands overhead. Letting the palms gently meet. Exhale to bring them down to heart center. And thank you to all of you for sharing part of your day with me and your practice with me. I appreciate all of you.